So you also said that one of the major challenges of adopting RPA is the ability to scale it beyond the initial use case. Are businesses too slow to realize the RPA's capabilities? Are they not equipped to take it to the next level? Or are they simply testing the waters at this point? What's your opinion?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay. Next question.
It is funny. And again, our clients include many of the large players in the RPA space. And I have heard from them that it is very hard to get beyond a certain number of deployments within the enterprise. And it's just, sometimes it's just a matter of, I'll give you an example. Do you ever get a new device and you think, this device can do some kick-ass things? If only I would spend more time learning how to use it more effectively. And for all of the really cool things that I know how to do on my device, there's probably 100 that I've just never made the time to learn because I haven't had the bandwidth. I haven't had, the desire to try or whatever. And I think that, when you magnify that out, I think that's some of what happens. People get busy, people get focused on things. People just don't think beyond to me, what's most exciting is all of what's possible as it relates to intelligent automation. And, AI powered intelligent automation is so amazing because it learns from you. And the more you use it, the more it learns, the more data you put in there, the more it has to really help, and you can have some really amazing real-time insights that help make really important business decisions. And so to me, I don't know why you would want to slow down because it's kind of like once you get a taste of the crack, I don't want to go back to figuring out things on my own. So I think that, but I do know that that is a very real challenge with some of the biggest players in the automation space is just getting enterprises beyond those initial deployments and how do we scale it more broadly throughout the enterprise. And that's why we're also seeing partnerships with organizations and, big partnerships with organizations. And I think that I'm going to pull this out of my head. I'm thinking, I'm going to say the wrong thing, but I'm thinking we're seeing huge partnerships like with Automation Anywhere and I can't remember who, but that's terrible. But no, we're seeing huge partnerships with cloud providers, with automation providers, so that the cloud provider can, I think it's Google and Automation Anywhere. And so you've got the sales team of the cloud service provider and who are selling automation services. And then you've got the automation provider, the vendor who's also selling them. So it makes sense. And so we're seeing partnerships like this. Microsoft has made its automation platform free to Windows 365 users. I mean, and Microsoft just basically threw down the gauntlet. And this was just announced in the last couple of, maybe in the last month. It was like, and I viewed that, I wrote about that at the time. And I thought that was really Microsoft taking the gloves off saying, we're not fooling around here. We know the benefit of automation, no code, low code offerings. I mean, and we know what that can do. And by the way, if we can give you a taste of this for free, then we know that we're going to be able to sell you, this is what I think, we're going to be able to sell you, more advanced AI-powered things in a not too long of time. So we're really seeing organizations ramp up their efforts as it relates to getting people familiar with and using RPA. And I do think it's really to move them quicker along the path to more advanced options. And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, in our experience, like that initial use case is largely driven by a problem they're trying to solve, and so they're engaging RPA to solve a very particular problem which is painful for them at that point in time. In order
Right.
to roll it out beyond that initial use case really requires a culture within the organization, which is maybe driven from the top down to drive a culture of automation. You've talked about driving a culture of automation before. What can organizations do to embrace a culture of automation?
Well, I don't think that it's any different than embracing a culture of, oh, I love that. I just saw a kid walk through the room. I can't believe mine aren't in here saying, what's for dinner, Mom? Because it's evening here. I think that there's no difference between creating a culture of automation than creating a culture that is conducive to facilitating digital transformation. It's about being curious. It's about, fostering continuous learning and upskilling, and upskilling is a tremendous, tremendous part of this. And, looking at within your organization and how you can move people from here to having knowledge about how to use automation offerings and a culture of, a data-driven culture, right? A customer-centric culture. All of these things are part of successful digital transformation, and automation is just one part of it. I mean, it's just one tiny part of it. But, it's not like you can create a culture that fosters automation if you suck at all the other things, right? It's really about having, from the leadership on down, having an organization who understands that technology is the path forward. Maybe it's cloud, maybe it's automation, they're all different